Let me show you how you can combine all of these different charts in Excel to make a really nice data presentation. First, we're going to summarize all of our data. So let's say we've got sales inputs. We're going to select everything and go up to Insert Pivot Table and hit OK. We're going to put it on a brand new sheet. Then I want to see our products and the total sales. I'm going to Control C and Control V to copy and paste for another pivot table for rep by total sales. And then this last one is going to be manager or the rep and the quantity and the goal quantity. So we want to see our actual sold compared to our goal in this last chart. Next, I'm going to go up to the pivot table analyzer and I'm going to insert pivot charts. So the first one could be a donut chart. The second one could be a line chart. So we'll go to pivot chart again and just repeat these steps. And then this last one is going to be a combo chart because I want to see our target compared to our actual. So I'm going to hit combo and hit OK. I'm setting mine up for a mobile screen, but go ahead and move your charts wherever it makes sense for you. I'm going to right click on all three of these to remove those or hide those fields, the data fields. We don't need those. Now those are gone. We can click on the legends and press delete for those as well. So as I'm moving these and resizing these, note that those pivot tables will need to be moved behind the charts. So you can do that as needed, and now would be a good time to do that. So I'm going to pause in between here to do that so I can save some time for the video, but feel free, like I said, to move those so you do not see them. All you need to do is highlight the cells and you'll see a little plus and you can drag them wherever you need to. Now next, for all three charts, let's go up to Quick Styles and let's pick the formatting that's already there with a dark gray background. So again, Quick Styles and select. Now I'm setting this up so that I can also insert a slicer here, and then that's going to function as a filter. So now I want to be able to essentially filter months. So I want to be able to see all of this data here by month when I need to. So again, I'm just going to move this in place for right now in a rough ballpark area. You can resize this any which way, up, down. Right click and hit Report Connections. Check the box for all three pivot tables because we want this one to control all three tables. If you didn't, then you wouldn't do that. Now what I need to do here is right click and I'm going to go to the shape and let's change these to a bevel. So we're going to do the same thing for all three charts so that they're a little bit of a 3D look to them. Same thing for the last one. And we'll go up to the shape and then bevel. Close out of this. And then let's go back up here to slicer and change this to 2 columns so that we can shrink this down. So now you've got 4 buttons for each month of data that we have. You can right click here in settings and then choose to remove the header if you wish. So again, it will give you even more space. And then you can shrink that down and now you just have the 4 buttons remaining. You can change the color of this as well with Quick Style. So if you go up there, I'm just going to pick gray because that's kind of in line with our theme. And then if you select each one of these sections on your chart, you can change each color manually. Overall, I'm going with black, gray, orange, white. So I'm going to just do different shades here of the gray all the way to black. And let's go with the lighter gray here for the 4th one. Then you can click on this line chart and on the paint bucket, you can change this to a solid fill and you can change the color on here. You can change the thickness. And then for marker options, we're going to go with built-in. We already have a round one that's working well. Increase the size on this if you really want those markers to stand out. You can solid fill these with whatever color. I'm going to go with white, and then you can also add a border to them. So you could do something like orange, gray, whatever makes sense for you. Now those markers really stand out. Then if we go down to this last one, I'm going to right click here and I'm going to fill this with a darker gray. And the line, I'm going to right click, format. And on the paint bucket, again, we're doing no line because we're going to show markers instead. So markers are very similar to what we just did, except this time we're going to choose the dash looking one and we're going to increase the size on that. And then same thing here, you can fill this. You can keep the border or remove it, do 2 different colors if you wish. There's lots of formatting options here. And then you can't quite see that, but I'm choosing a different color and then I'm going to make it a little bit wider. Now those orange dashes are our goal and then the actuals are the gray bars. Next, I just went up to insert a text box. This is where our title is going to go. So I'm going to type in here sales report And you can align this just like you can with any other text. You can increase the size, change the font. So let's increase the size there, and we'll change that to orange, going with our theme, or gray background, I should say, and then the orange font. There we go. And then you can right click and format this as well, so it looks like the other charts where you do the shape and then the bevel again. Let's close that. And now we've got our title. Speaking of titles, we want to title our charts. So I'm going to show you how you can use a text box to do this. I'm just going to click on the titles and delete them. But what you can do here is go up to Insert Shape, Text Box. You can draw it wherever you want. And the title option in the charts functions pretty much the same. You can change the background and such. But let's say we want to increase the font here and change the font itself and resize. And let's change this to no fill because we don't want a background. And then we went with orange to go with our theme. And then again, let's make it a little bit bigger so it's easy to see. You can rearrange this, move it in place wherever you want it to go. And then you can just copy paste with Control-C, Control-V, and then you can just type over top of this. So in this particular case, this is actually our sales by rep. So we'll leave that title there. And then you can, again, copy paste, Control-C, Control-V. And if you want these charts to be shrunk a little bit, you can just resize them within the chart, if that makes sense. So now my entire chart shrunk down a little bit. And then let's type this in here. This is actually quantity goal to actual by rep, and then we'll resize that. Now, as you can see, this doesn't look that great because there are light gray outlines. So we're going to increase the font size a little bit here before we address that. And again, like I mentioned, you can resize the chart within the larger chart. So then you can drag those so that they fit nicely. And then for this, you actually need to right click. Let's go to Format. And when it says line, we're going to say no line. And that's going to remove your border. You just want to make sure that you're selecting the right item. Sometimes when you have things on top of charts, it can be difficult to select the right one. But then here, same thing, and the mix disappeared just because it's not quite sized right, so you'll need to do some resizing. So now everything is looking good, no more borders, and let's resize. Now this is looking great, but let's change this donut hole. So we're going to make this a much thicker chart so it's easy to see. And then let's test it out. Excel automatically added my data labels for me, but if you wanted to, you could right click and say add data labels. And since they're there, let's increase those, bold them, change them orange so they really stand out. And there's your chart. Start testing it out.